Second Christmas in Lisbon.
Douche.
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 Yes, we have been here. This is our second Christmas, and has it been all that you thought? Was anything shocking? Was anything just like throwing you off a little bit?
Well, yeah. I mean, politically, not politically, but the bureaucraticness of everything, it takes things take their time. But, hey, I'm retired.
So we don't have to worry about
I'm
it.
not in a rush.
But so we were just showing some pictures of all of that was just some of the graffiti that exists here in Lisbon.
Yeah.
And, folks think that, one, especially as Black folks, there's nothing going to be culture shock to us because we've dealt with so much in the United States, right?
Right.
Those of us who are from North America and specifically the United States. But also that when we talk about Lisbon, we talk about it as if it's nirvana, as if it's perfect.
Yeah, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. But there's a lot of things that you don't mind as much. It's like when I talk about the medical system and stuff like that, how in the
You got to
United
take a number.
you take a number for everything. But in the States, your doctor orders a test, they go to the doctor and the doctor reads the test and they contact you, her office or whatever contacts you. That doesn't happen here. So and you get that feeling like there's no sense of urgency because it's like, okay, I'm not feeling how I should be feeling, and there's no sense of urgency because why isn't this doctor getting back to me? Which I didn't know until I found out. It's not a thing because they have no rights to your records unless you make an appointment. Okay, understandable. So there's a lot of things that you kind of are used to in the United States that you have to re how would I say, you have to adjust.
Yeah.
You have to adjust yourself.
You definitely have to adjust. And it's interesting because I was talking to my doctor about that practice of them not getting back to us. And she said that hasn't always been the case. But she said that they had a government that was pretty conservative some years back, and they thought that it was a violation of personal rights. So they changed the laws. She said back in the day, they did get the test. They ordered the test, they get the tests. But now it's a matter of personal rights. And it's interesting because what that says to me is somebody in government has some medical files they didn't want nobody seeing. and so they lobbied to change the laws. Now, of course, I'm just making this stuff up as we go along. But what the doctor said is the truth. But why, I don't know. But when a conservative government takes away a right like that, it's usually not in the best interest of the people. No. It's in the best interest of the power brokers.
Which we start seeing when they redid Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, in the United States.
Number one, and they're trying to change everything around. Don't let them do that, y'all. Yeah. Don't let them do that.
Exactly. So this is our second Christmas in Lisbon. And are we thinking about moving anytime soon?
No.
Spoiler alert.
Did I say that fast enough?
No. No, we're not. And let us show you what Christmas in Lisbon looked like this year. Hey y'all, my name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth. So what are we talking about today?
You know, everything is not nirvana. Everywhere you go, everywhere you think about going, but you can always make your own Black Utopia wherever you go.
That's right. That's right, y'all. But first, if you are new to our channel, then you may not know about 7.5, 8 years ago or so, Rick and I were looking at retirement ages staring us all up in the face. and,
Close up.
and our money looked crazy. We did not have the money saved that we needed to. But about 3.5, 4 years ago, we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. If we can do that, you can do it too, y'all.
You can do it.
You can do it too. It is the holiday season. So if you want to gift someone with the gift of financial independence, now is the time before the prices go up, y'all. Beyond the Bling Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence is in the description below, as well as tickets to our meetup in June. If you're thinking about Portugal or if you just want to visit, June is the time. We've talked about that before. Or if you need to find out more about how to move to Portugal, we are selling the replays to the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit. We've got folks in the chat right now who've gone to the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit.
It's invaluable. The information in there is invaluable. It's from lawyers, realtors. It's from every serious professionals that know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, this ain't hearsay. This ain't somebody said something on Facebook that said that no. This is from the professionals that actually help you do this thing. All of that information is in the description below. It is Christmas Eve, y'all, and I hope that folks watch this after today. But first, we've got to give a shout out to Daniel. So we just want to.
This is my nephew. This is my nephew Daniel. Hey, Daniel. I haven't heard from you in a while. Thank you so much for the donation.
Yeah, he was in the comments actually a couple of days ago. So I did see you in the comments, Daniel. That was me. That was me. So thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well.
You need to come visit, Daniel. Come on now.
There you go. As y'all know, every single penny of our super thanks, super chat, and super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling, Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence. And I do know that I have at least 3 people who are in my inbox that I need to give an answer to, and I will work on that over the next week. I've been trying to get our finances together for tax season, y'all. Doing it early. So today we thought we would hang out and answer some questions about the truth of moving abroad, because there are a lot of folks on YouTube, especially that look like us, right, who have found their happy place outside of the United States. And y'all know the routine. If you have a comment or a question that you'd like us to put on screen, you're going to have to put a Q in front of it to make sure that I see it. Sometimes just a question mark I don't see. There is a red question mark, I think, in the emojis. I see that, but sometimes people put question marks and I don't see them. So if you put a Q, then I will see it, especially a big Q, and then put your question or your comment. Let's see who is in our taxes increase. Okay. So Janine asked this at, let's see, this morning, your time. It's 8:44 now. So she asked this around 1 o'clock our time. Y'all, she wanted to know if NHR stands, if the elimination of NHR stands, and it was voted to be eliminated, and anyone who starts the process in 2023 will have until December 2024 to sign up for the non-habitual resident tax scheme. So are taxes going to increase for expats or for immigrants to Portugal? Maybe. It depends on you. We can't say, yes, taxes are going up for immigrants to Portugal, because it depends on your own tax situation. For some people, yes, it will. Now, they are having a special election in March, and we have been told by Portuguese people at that point, everything could change. The whole budget that was voted in could
It
change.
could change.
So for right now, I would just assume that they are, and you need to talk to, if you go over to the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit website page, there are tax folks in there. Sandra Gomes Pinto is an immigration specialist, and she tends to be a lot more creative when it comes to making sure that you are getting all of the tax write-offs that you need to get, that you're entitled to. And so, this is one of the things that you need to do prior to making a decision. You need to see what your, tax obligation will be. Now, with that said, you can actually see here what folks get for their taxes. Like I don't know about you, but I have problems seeing where my money's going in the United States. Where's my money going? Where's my money going? I know where it's not going. It's not helping people get public transportation. That's where it's not going.
Nope.
It's certainly not going to help people get health care, right? Like some states adopted the expanded Medicaid, and still with expanded Medicaid, you still have to be pretty poor to qualify, or low income, right, to qualify based upon the state's poverty level. So, I don't know where that money's going. I know it's probably going to fight little mini wars all over the planet, half of which we probably don't even know about. And then we wonder why folks don't like Americans. Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
Thank you.
I would love to know why Black Americans prefer to live in South American locations as opposed to Africa. You need to ask those folks.
Yeah, ask them. Look at the different situations. Look at South America. Look at Africa. See what's lacking in one place, or what would make you move to Africa instead of South America. I mean, everything has their
pros and cons.
Pros and cons. Yeah.
Look, folks. Just like Lisbon in Portugal is not nirvana, the continent of Africa is not nirvana either.
It's not.
For the most part, do not view us as brothers and sisters like African Americans, Black Americans view them. They don't. They cannot tell what tribe we're from. They don't know, and so they don't view us as kinfolk. Y'all, you're tripping if you think that that's the case. And in some countries, they look at you like a walking wallet. They assume that if you're over there, then you must be rich.
Yeah, be rich. Yeah.
And so let's fleece them. They can afford it. They can afford it, right? Let's fleece them. Is that every country? No. Is that every person in every country? Absolutely not. So, there is no nirvana, and that includes the continent of Africa. For Black Americans is not a nirvana necessarily for us. Do we know Black Americans who have found their happy place?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I have family that lives in South Africa. I also know that they are dealing with rolling blackouts.
Yeah. We looked at South Africa.
We did.
We took their internet down.
But they didn't have, we took their internet down when we were there. Okay, so strike one. At the bed and breakfast, but they didn't have rolling blackouts in those days. No, it's been the corruption that has happened since then.
Yeah,
from the colonized minds who are now running the country that have caused the rolling blackouts, just like the idiots in California caused those rolling blackouts. The people who didn't care about the people, but only cared about themselves in government caused those rolling blackouts. So I don't know about you. I'm a spoiled American and I don't want to deal with that. Are there rolling blackouts in South America? Yes, there are. I know in Venezuela in particular, but that's an autocracy. That is not a democracy by any stretch of the imagination.
You really have to do your due diligence on the places that you're looking at. And even if there's places that you aren't looking at, but you're curious about, you have to check it out.
Yeah, do your Googles first.
What would make you want to move there? I don't want to move to South Africa, or Africa, period, because I'm Black. No,
we pay too many dues for that kind of nonsense. We pay too many dues. We have like saved too many communities. We have fought, we have done the fight.
Yeah.
We got to fight for this and fight for that and fight for this. Y'all.
And I think that's what a lot of people look at and they say, well, you're Black. You should be, going to the motherland. It's like, I've been to the motherland. I love the motherland. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place, but Not right now.
Well, not ever for me, in the near future, because it's hard for me to see that abject poverty up close and personal. It really is difficult. And so for those of us who are kind of empath, and very empathetic to other people's plights, I don't want to see it. And it is no longer my fight to make sure that everybody on this planet is doing well. Like that was my fight for the first 40 years of my life, 50 years of my life, and I'm tired. So I want this chapter of my life to be about peace, to be about joy, to be about ease, to actually reap the benefits of the 57 years of work that I've done, or 47, because I guess I didn't start working until I was 14 years old. So
Okay.
something like that, 45 years, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I think you should ask specific people why they chose what they chose, because you might be surprised by the answer. That's number one. Number two, I think everyone should have a list of wants and needs. And you write that out objectively before you go visit a place. And then you can decide whether you are making this decision on emotions or based upon what you said you want. And maybe it will make you tweak it, because I'm going to tell you, I thought I was a beach Mai Tai girl when really I'm a city girl, and I want museums, and I want theater, and I want folks. I want street dancers in the street, and all of that stuff that a city makes. Hey, Action VJ.
Action VJ.
Good to see you in the chat. Hit the like button if you like this content. If you want to see more of this kind of thing, please hit that like button. I know I started off soapboxy, but hey, the question started. The question started,
Auntie Trey said something about the hot wine.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. The hot wine, Auntie Trey. Oh my God.
It's not that strong to me.
Yeah. Auntie Trey, the hot wine. It's on point.
It's got cinnamon and cloves.
It's
and
on
hey,
point.
Cassandra.
It just warms your whole body.
Hey, Professor, good to see you. Pinky's in the house. Ballerina, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Ellen, hola. Bush festas. Merry Christmas Eve to all. Absolutely. Hey, Christy. Winnie is in the house. Bobby from CBWPA. Good to see you. My first time live from Denver.
Bobby? Yeah.
We're glad. Oh, you remember?
I remember, Bobby.
Good. See, we got some Colorado crew in the house, even though Frederica no longer lives in Colorado. We got some Colorado folk in the house today. Hey, Helen. Hey, Greta. Good to see you. RJ is in the house. We've got Shannon and Lisa Watts.
Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Yes, definitely. And Stephen is in the house. A relatively new name. We're glad that you could join us. Shannon Howard is in the house. And then folks saying hello to other people. Just Don Johnson. Huh. That's a new name.
It is.
Because my middle name is Don, y'all. So I pay attention to stuff like that. Alexandria. Kimmy is in the house. That's another new. Kimmy Apple. That's a new name. But Kimmy doesn't seem new. Unless you added Apple. Did you add Apple? Or are you a different person? What are we doing? Don't confuse me. Hey, Auntie Trey. Hi, Vibe is in the house. We got Greta. Tanisha, glad you made it. Daniel's in the house, and we got Shy Gal. All right. So y'all, we'll be on as long as you want us on. We're going to answer questions. We're going to talk about, our second Christmas here in Lisbon. And I thought we were going to be going out of town, y'all.
Yeah, we had plans. We were going to do Christmas in Paris.
We're going to do Christmas in Paris. But life shows up.
Paris.
Life shows up. Yeah. And so y'all know that my mom was in the hospital. She was back in the hospital just a couple of days ago. What was today?
Yesterday.
Sunday. So Friday and Saturday she was in the hospital. And so we're going to have to go back to the States and deal with Miss Vincent. That's what we're going to have to do. Killer Queen is in the house. Hey there. So I couldn't see spending money, the money that we're going to have to spend in California, and then do Paris as well. And then we're going to follow as soon as we come back.
We go to South
We
Africa.
go to South Africa for a couple of weeks. So, and we're going to see the women of the Exodus Summit there. But hopefully I will get to see my family, and we're definitely going to meet up with, hey, Amani.
Hey, Amani and Ken.
Yes, we're definitely going to meet up with some of the folks that I taught with when I was there, gosh, a decade ago on a fellowship.
Oh, yeah.
So we're definitely looking forward to that. Hey, word up psychotherapy. Merry Christmas, Black folks.
Merry Christmas.
I love it. I love it. When is the next Beyond the Bling group starting? Okay, so hi Shanora. This is ongoing, and so you can just join whenever. We have group coaching every second Saturday of the month. Mm-hmm. Group coaching every second Saturday of the month at noon Eastern time. This Wednesday, we're actually having a vision board party. So if you're on our email list, check your email. You got an invite. It's free. We're going to do it, via Zoom. We're going to show you how to work Canva and create a digital vision board. Y'all, our last two vision boards have, I'm not going to say 100% because part of it in there is exercising.
Hey.
But the stuff that we thought was impossible, the stuff that we thought was impossible, some of which is out of our control or appears to be out of our control, came true.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So 80 to 90% of it came true. We're supposed to be doing yoga together. He keeps fighting it. I'm looking for couple stuff to do, right? Help keep me motivated too. But you keep fighting.
Why do you have to bring yoga?
Why not? Why not? You be waddling around here all stiff, and I'm like, look.
No, yeah.
All we got to do.
How far did we walk?
Y'all.
The other day.
Y'all.
Jerry said if she said I wouldn't be your friend.
For those who know Lisbon, we walked basically from the bottom of the river near Peña de França, where Peña de França and Alfama meet, basically from there all the way to Parque das Nações. So it was about a 6-mile walk.
6 miles, yeah.
And still, I only had like 17,000 steps. I felt some kind of way about that. I saw that it was going to take us 1 hour and 54 minutes to do the walk. And we did do some video along the way. So we'll show you guys. If you're following us on Instagram, then, you'll see it. But we had a good time. And then we met Alex and Jerry.
And
for some snacks and stuff.
So
So Beyond the Bling is our financial independence course. And we have the group coaching every second Saturday of the month, but it is an on-demand course. So it comes with a community for now. So I'm saying that because I'm going to have to upgrade to do what it is that we want to do. And once I upgrade and we're paying more, we've got to charge more so we can cover costs. But for right now, it is 127 euro. It is a course that maps out everything, right? From how to analyze your expenses to how to look at countries that you might want to move to, figure out your FI number, figure out your savings rate, figure out how to increase your savings rate and your income, side hustles, as well as real estate investing and stock investing. All of that. You will come out with a plan to get you to the place you want to go. And then it'll be up to you, y'all. We answer questions in the community as they're asked. So we check in 2 to 3 times a week in the online community. So we've got 2 communities. We've got Fire Over 50 Facebook group. If you're not a member, why not?
Yeah, you need to join.
You don't need to be over 50.
To be 50.
You only over. Right. You just have to be from the African diaspora. Okay. You do have to be from the African diaspora. If your picture does not show you, like if you're a female and your name is, Bridget Jones, and all I see in your picture are a bunch of men, that doesn't tell me who you are, baby. That just means you know some Black men. So, person probably knows who I'm talking about. If you're watching, if your picture is not in your profile, it's going to take longer. I'm going to ask you for a picture. You're going to have to email it or whatever. If you have a brand new account, it's going to deny you. Just friend me and send us an email, and then I'll invite you into the group. But the other group is just for beyond the bling folks. And, we're reading Take Stock. We are going to start studying stock and create this mock stock group, stock study group. So, and I say mock because we're not going to invest real money. That takes a bunch of legal stuff that I don't want to go through. Definitely let the church say amen. So you see, I don't know if Siri was correcting your your writing there. So love that video. Is it possible to meet you in February during our visit? If we're here,
If we're
Daniel,
here, yes.
We are going to be spending a good portion of February in South Africa. And then we'll be in the States for the first part of February. So just send us an email with your dates and we'll see what we can work out. So definitely. We answered that question for Shanora. Word up. Are you guys still seeing the folks on your calendar for New Year's Day? Yeah, somebody did schedule for January 1st. I think we have a party. I might be rescheduling that. Thank you, Word Up Psychotherapy. Because somebody did schedule time
For
on
New
Year's Day.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, So it depends on what time, because we do have a gathering on New Year's Day. And we promised that we would go. So if it's you, I'm sorry, we might be rescheduling.
But we'll let you know.
We'll let you know. Yeah, I got to look at that. I'm a college professor in the States. I want to move to Lisbon. How are the universities in Portugal? Hey, RJ. The universities here are great. Are they hiring? Do you speak Portuguese? Are they hiring professors who only speak English or don't speak Portuguese? I don't know.
Look into it.
One of the things that I do know is they don't pay well here. So the private colleges, I don't know. I would check it out, but moving abroad, okay, it depends on why you're moving abroad. If you're moving from the United States to another country for a lower cost of living, the cost of living is lower because the wages are lower. Right? We get that with Mexico, right? We say, oh, we can go to Mexico and we can live, at least 2 times as well as we can live in the States in some parts of Mexico, right? Depending upon where you're from in the States, of course. We get that, yes, the cost of living is lower and folks who are Mexican get paid less money if they work in Mexico. The same is true for Southern Europe. The same is true for Italy, for Greece, for Spain, and for Portugal. Did I mention Greece?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All those countries. The pay is less, and so I'm not sure that you would be happy with the pay that they would offer you here. But definitely check it out. Yeah. There is also another video that we did. I think it's how to leave the USA ASAP, but not the one we just did. This was from like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And she was a college professor, but works in the university systems all around the world. And she gives some great advice on how to find those university jobs. And I'm wondering if international schools may be an option for you as well. I hear that international schools pay better because they have high tuition. They have high tuition because the majority of their folks are like embassy people and stuff like that, not necessarily the citizens of that country. So I'm assuming that you're talking about my statement about Africa. When you take your yellow booty up in there. That's right, Auntie Trey. Bottom line, go where you want to go. It's your life, your rules. Exactly. Like I just don't get why people assume that we should all want to go to the continent. Now, I've always wanted to go to the continent to see it. And when we were there, we even considered moving there, especially South Africa, because they speak English, right? And it's kind of like Africa Light is what I call it. Hey, Karen Louise.
Hey, Karen Louise.
But once you see more of the world, you've got to go where it feels like home, where you feel like it feels like home. And what feels like home to us is not necessarily what's going to feel like home to you. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you got to live it.
That's all I'm saying, Jess.
You got to live it.
Like the time for this person at my age to keep fighting for this and fighting for that and fighting for this and fighting for that. I'm so finished. I am so through. No. You see, not in just Joburg, but in most countries that are still having developing economies that don't have a large middle class, you see, I know they have abject poverty in some parts of the United States where folks are living in lean-tos, not just homeless people, but working poor and living in lean-tos without plumbing in 2023. I get that. But per capita, you see it a lot more in nations that still have developing economies. And that's just like, that feels like struggle to me. That's emotional struggle for me. And why would I want to leave the United States to be sad someplace else?
Right. Yeah.
That don't make no sense. After all the BS we've gone through in the US, the last thing I will do is move to a place that's worse or is less politically stable and even more corrupt, right? The mother of my children is Kenyan. And you're probably saying, and even she don't want to move back. So yeah. She refuses to go back for some of the same reasons. Right. Exactly, Daniel. Would obtaining citizenship in Brazil eliminate the continuous residency requirements in Portugal? No. Isn't there an expedited exception to residency citizenship in Portugal for Brazilian citizens? Yes. Yes and no. So from our Brazilian friends, it is not more expedient, but it is easier. But it does take longer to get your residency situated. That's what we have been told, or at least that's what their experience has been. I don't know. I think the thing about it is, and so Cassandra, I think the thing about it is the notion that they don't have to learn the language,
right?
And that they're a former colony. Now, whether that applies to U.S. citizens who now have Brazilian citizenship as well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that if you're American, I think a faster path is just to come as an American citizen than being a Brazilian citizen.
I do too. I would agree with that.
Yeah. Don't hate.
Hot wine is good, bruh.
Don't hate.
I'm telling you, it's good. It really is.
Yep, he does. Yeah, it's mulled wine. And they have cinnamon and cloves, and it's warmed up, and they serve it for, anywhere from €1.50 to €4, depending upon where you are in the city, all over at all of these little Christmas festivals and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a huge thing. As a matter of fact, at our pajama party, they had it as well.
They had a pajama party last night, the other night when we went out with, when we met Jerry and Alex.
Yeah, we had some.
We had some when we left a restaurant just to drink as we were walking.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. It kept you warm.
Yeah.
And somebody had asked the question, how cold does it get? And it's not cold, Chicago cold, windy, freezing cold or anything like that. I have a pair of gloves. I rarely wear them, but I mean, it just depends. It depends on what kind of, if it's the wind is blowing or wherever I am. But normally, a nice light coat, I don't have to wear my winter coat. I brought it, but I don't have to wear it.
I wear it at night if we're going to be out walking and stuff like that.
Like today, I had this on, and it got a little windy as it got later in the day. It got a little cooler, but I was fine with this.
So our average temperature has been in the low 60s, Angel, for December. It's been in the low 60s, and then it gets down to the low 50s at night. I had on gloves when we were outside a lot doing some drone shooting and stuff like that because we were just sitting there.
Right.
But if we're walking, if we're trying to get from point A to point B, they're back in my purse. Like, I don't need all of that. I don't need a hat and a scarf and all of that. I'd say every once in a while when it's cold and rainy at night, do we need that? Otherwise, it's kind of like a Southern California winter. At the worst, it is a San Francisco winter.
Right.
Right. Hey, Wendy from Oregon. Good to see you in the chat. Hot wine. That's what they call it. That's what we see. And or vinho quente. Vinho quente. And when I said calor, they knew what calor is because that's hot too. But quente is for that. I think calor is for you. I don't know. But vinho quente is what they call it. And they serve it just about everywhere in the winter time. So, thank you about my mom. She's not gonna recover, y'all. She's in full flight from reality. She's in full flight from reality, and we've known ever since we moved here. We're just waiting for her to catch up to the reality of it. And now all of the people because it doesn't matter what I say. It don't matter what I say. But now that pastor said such and such and so and so, let's see if she got pissed off when pastor said, you know what? I don't think you need to be driving anymore. And according to my aunt, she got really upset. But she shouldn't have been driving for the past year. Quiet as it's kept.
She shouldn't have been.
Just thank God she didn't kill anybody or whatever. So just Dawn, I'm glad you caught us live. Yay, yay, yay. So you're planning a trip to Portugal in June. You should come to our meetup. We just put Krishan of Blacks at Global is she's our business partner now. So we partnered with her on the Move to Portugal Summit. We're partnering with her for our June meetup. Yeah. And we just put down the deposit on the boat for the boat excursion. Y'all, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Thank you. Thank you, baby. I so appreciate it. Have you two taken Kizomba classes together? It's that, look. So we had Kizomba dancers at our meetups, teaching us as a group. I'm going to have to work my way up to that.
That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. So we're going to start with something a little slower. I think the tango is slower. And then we'll work our way up to salsa, which is almost as fast to me as Kizomba.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Right? Because it's kind of got this, and then we're going to have to work our way up to that. That, to me, that's the difference between going to a mild Pilates class and doing CrossFit training. Kizomba is CrossFit training. We got to start with the mild Pilates class. That's what we need to do. Oh my gosh. Even walking up these hills is not enough. It's not enough. Hey, Kenneth, happy holidays. Thoughts and prayers definitely goes to your mom. Thank you. Since moving to Portugal, have you noticed any cost of living changes? Yes. Mm-hmm. But not with the staples, interestingly enough. So if I think about like eggs, milk, things like that, packaged things that are staples, those prices have not really gone up. It feels like restaurants have gone up somewhat, or maybe we're just going to more expensive restaurants since we were here.
I think that's
in June. In June. Right. But let me tell you guys, last night, how many was it?
We had 11 people.
We had 11 people for dinner, not at our house, but we all went out to a restaurant. and we had 4 bottles of wine, 2 bottles of champagne. Everybody, we didn't have any starters. No,
No starters.
starters.
We had dessert. We had full meals.
Everybody had dinner, and everybody I think 4 people shared 2 desserts. Everybody else had their own dessert. And the total bill was 238 euro. 238 euro for 11 people.
Yeah, we were like, this can't be right. But it was right.
So, yes, there have been cost of living changes. We've heard from Rossini, who helped us find this apartment, that deals like what we have are few and far between these days. But I have a feeling that NHR is going to slow down a lot of things in the housing market, and it's not going to solve the problem that they want it to solve. But what it will do is it's going to lower the prices, because people who, especially those in high tax brackets who thought that they were going to get a tax break, and then they're not, right? They won't bother. They won't bother. So they'll just stay where they're at, unless they're already used to paying, high taxes. But we're walking, but once you get used to something.
Yeah, and well, we've been riding the bus too more.
Yeah, we've been riding the bus, but we've been walking too. So, see?
Thanks, Jess. I agree with you. Yes, it is good for you. And I do need to. I did Tai Chi for a little while, a long time ago, and I probably need to get back into it.
Exactly. So we're going to be doing a digital vision board next Wednesday, I think. I don't know. Check your email. I sent an email. If you're not on our email list, why not? Information to join our email list is in the description below.
Isan one said, "Wow, that's a long walk." It is, but
it was a long walk.
She'll ask me, "Okay, where are we gonna go? What do you want to do?" Okay, we're gonna walk. Where are we gonna walk to? I don't know. Let's just walk. So we call them walkabouts.
We go walkabouts.
Walkabouts can go 5 miles to 10 miles because we walked 10 miles.
Yeah, we have. We just walk. And you can't see the city in public transportation, much less an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
You have to walk it. And so we discovered an area that's up and coming that had some really cool cafes, restaurants, galleries, and things like that. So we definitely want to go back and check that out.
Yes, it was so interesting. This warehouse building that didn't have doors. You knock the bricks out of, and you get the wall opening from the bricks. And I was like, this is amazing. And the guy that owned the art store came out and was talking to me. And it's like, I love what they did with the space.
It's really cool. It's an old warehouse. We did. We've got videos. Okay. So we'll be putting a video out on our Instagram. But so one side of it where they had like a wall and separate maybe storage rooms for the warehouse, they just knocked the bricks out, left it raggedy all around the edges, mm-hmm. and then put gates in front of them. But that's the doorways to different little artisan shops. And most of them were artisan. There was like African clothing. There was an art gallery. There was jewelry. And then they had a bar, and apparently they have live music. So there was a big open area with couches and chairs and things like that, and plants where they have live music. And they also had a food truck in there as well. Mm-hmm. And a plant store, all of this within this huge old warehouse. It was really cool. But I just noticed even before we got there and after we got there, a bunch of really cool new restaurants, newer looking restaurants and cafes.
Taco.
Yeah, the taco place look, Ron,
it looked legit.
It smelled legit.
Okay, well, I go off of you.
But the proof is in the pudding. So I took a picture.
I go off her because I used to eat Jack in the Box tacos.
You said you hated Jack in the Box tacos.
I did hate them.
Look, Jack in the Box tacos used to soak after the
It sucked
club,
up all that alcohol.
after the club with the grease
All that green.
and the American cheese.
Give me a Jack in the Box taco and a lemon pie, a warm lemon pie.
Lemon?
Oh Lord, have mercy.
Gross.
Lemon was the best pie.
But I thought you didn't like lemon.
I didn't, but I like Jack in the Box lemon pie.
We used to call it Jack in the Crap. That's what we used to call it.
But the lemon pies is good.
I like the apple pies. I don't like those. Okay, off topic. Would love some insight. I just started house pet sitting. Okay, great.
Cool.
Why do you think there are so many sits available in England? I'm booked for 2 this summer. Is that a mistake? Thanks. There are so many in England because they get a lot of vacation time.
They get a lot of vacation time, and most of the time it's always raining.
They don't want to be there. They don't want to be there.
But no, you'll love it.
Yeah, especially London. So what we've noticed is that more English-speaking folks tend to be the people who would not do house sitting, but have a house sitter in their house. When I'm on the site, I do run into people who speak their native language, the European native language. You don't see a lot of house sits in Africa. You don't see a lot of house sits in South America. You don't see a lot of house sits in Mexico, only where English-speaking expats have started to congregate in those countries, on those continents. Do you see house sits? And so I don't know if it started in England. I don't know if they're the ones who started this thing. But yeah, it's not a mistake. You could house sit every day in London for a year and never have to pay rent.
Never have to pay rent.
Never have to pay rent. So just make sure that they have recent or relatively recent, because it's vacations, right? So relatively recent, what do you call them? Testimony
where people come in and
exactly. Yeah. I don't do things that don't have somebody who's done it prior. Right. And read between the lines. Make sure that they're talking about everything that you would want them to talk to. Space was nice. The people were cool to deal with, and the pets were friendly, etc.
Yeah.
Because I think you will be just fine, and you will house sitting is the best kept secret. It really is. See, Tai Chi helps mobility problems. I've never heard of chair Tai Chi. Have you? I'll have to Google that.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
I plan on moving to Portugal in the future and get a Portuguese tutor, and got a Portuguese tutor. Great. Do you think learning the language before relocating would be helpful, or is it not really necessary?
It's helpful.
We came here, we didn't even know how to say hello and thank you.
It's helpful.
And I'm going to tell you, it was, we were in the tourist areas, they speak English.
Yeah.
But where we were staying, we were in a working class neighborhood, and they didn't speak a lick of English. And just, buying something felt uncomfortable. So had I had to do all over again, we would have been taking lessons before we got here too.
So my young friend at the Alshan, right down the street, when I went in today, he was working today, and he made me say my NIF number
in Portuguese.
He said, okay, now give me your NIF number in Portuguese. And I had to say it in Portuguese, and I rattled it off. I had to look at it, but he's like, it's like, I just got to remember it now. He's like, you're Portuguese now.
Look, I've run across, I think now, 2 videos of Karens and 1 Karen in real life. But by and large, the reception that we have gotten here has been just tremendous. It really has.
And it's real. It's real.
It is real. But the biggest thing, especially for those of us from America, the biggest thing is you are not going to be walking around these streets feeling like you're 1 second away from being policed by someone. Right. If you want to know that one of the biggest reasons for us living here is a feeling of peace, that our every movement is not being policed by those who don't have a badge, but think it's their right, their privilege, and their responsibility to police brown people's movements. And so, you can't quantify that kind of peace.
You can't.
You can't put a price tag on that kind of peace. And unless you've lived in America in brown skin, you might not understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks, Jess. I saw that. Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. Because he knows once he agrees to something, that's it. We doing it. We taking our dance lessons. We doing our yoga. We gonna do
I'm not saying that I won't do it.
Yes, you were.
No, I didn't. I never said I'm not doing that. Ever. I've never said that to you.
No, you said I don't want to do that.
I said I want to do that, but I didn't say I ain't going to do that. It's a big difference.
Which brings me back to my first question, and y'all honoring your calendar. Y'all honoring your calendar. I am booked, locked, and loaded, and ready to go. I'm not messing around here. All right. Word of psychotherapy.
Well,
let me look to see what time we're supposed to be out on the other side of the river and what time you booked for. And I know it's for January 1st.
We might have to make it happen.
So, yeah, she's calling us out on air now. So, I will make every effort to make that happen. But what I don't want to do is shortchange you, and I don't want to feel, and I should have blocked that day off. But I don't want to feel like I'm not concentrating on what you're talking about, and that we're not giving you our full attention. Right? When folks book time with us, anybody who's booked time with us knows. If you're booked for 30 minutes, we're probably going to go over. If you're booked for an hour, we're probably going to go over. Like, we're not stingy with our time.
Yeah, we're not cutting you off at time.
Right? That's not how we roll. And so, and then I've got to do a write-up and all of this stuff. We want to record it. We want to make sure that when you walk away from that call, that you've got some action items, some to-dos to do, and that you have all of the information to remind you of what our suggestions are and what you agree to do. So it's so hard to live in a place when everyone around you, most people around you are so credibly without. I have lived in these places. Yeah, it's very difficult. Yeah, it really is. It really is. I gotta show this. Professors is preaching the struggle specifically of black skinned folks, really. And may I add, watching them cater and kowtow down to non-black skinned people on the continent, in the Caribbean, it ruins my mood every single time. That piece right there. Look, anti-blackness is global. And we have allowed, and media helps this, it is ubiquitous, right? It is ubiquitous. American media is ubiquitous. You cannot escape it, except for maybe China and North Korea, right? Like, you cannot escape it.
Yeah.
And so that means anti-Black American is global. It's global. I've met too many folks from the continent who said when they first came to America that they were afraid of us.
Yeah.
They thought we were all, talking about West Side.
We were all gang members.
Exactly.
All of us.
Exactly.
Gang members, lazy, didn't care about anything, on drugs. I mean,
I've heard it. I've heard it from their mouths with some trepidation, some shame, right? But they admit it, and obviously felt comfortable enough to admit that to me, because you don't admit the wrong until you're on the other side and you're now doing the right thing, right? It's kind of hard to admit to that stuff when you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've come to understand that the media lies and that most Black folks are good, law-abiding folks just trying to live their lives, be happy, and provide for their kids, provide for family members, provide for themselves, etc.
Well, I told one person one time, I said, well, I thought that all y'all did was sit around and have flies flying all over your face and stuff.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Well, if you look
Because
at the
you didn't
media,
know.
you just see the babies.
It's like, really, y'all?
And they let flies land on them. Don't nobody swat the flies away.
It's like, really, y'all? Come on now.
Trevor Noah had a joke about that. All right, Isan one. Where do you mail letters? Is there a way to assure that it gets to the U.S. from Portugal? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I had to laugh.
So look, they privatized their system.
They privatized the mail system.
They privatized their system. A Portuguese person told us that, and so they are not getting their money's worth anymore. Y'all save that USPS.
I will put it this way: take a number.
You do have to take a number, but
take a number.
We sent something to our attorney in the United States. Oh my God, seriously. We sent something to our attorney in the United States, and she did get it. It took about 3 weeks. And I want to say I didn't send it like certified or anything like that.
Just straighten out.
But it cost me about €5 to send a letter, a regular envelope size letter with just like 2 pieces of paper in it.
But if you're doing FedEx or UPS, you get it faster. I mean, yeah. I got a credit card almost overnight.
Well, yeah. And they should do that for the amount of money we spend on that credit card. But if you send it UPS or DHL or FedEx, you're going to be paying that, 25, 35 euro, right? Just to get something sent, even if you do it ground. There is no ground from here, but the slowest way possible. So it's kind of like Mexico in that regard. We did get our residency cards. We got those in the mail.
Got them, yeah.
I don't know how fast they got here. I didn't look to see if there was a post date on when we got them. We were so excited to get them in time before we went to the States.
I believe there was.
But otherwise, my goddaughter mailed the wedding invitation. Thank God I already knew about the wedding. She mailed the wedding invitation. I want to say the postmark from the United States was like March. Her wedding was in July.
In July. We got it, what?
Maybe 2 weeks before we left at the end of June.
Yeah, June.
It took 2 months.
Yeah.
It took 2 months.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time.
Alexandria, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to mess up my peace?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Someone has to take care of her.
She ain't coming no way.
No.
She wouldn't come.
But even if she were not afraid to fly, she needs someone to take care of her. I am already taking care of her financially. I am paying all of her bills. Ric and I subsidize her lifestyle. That's enough. There is no way on God's green earth that I would give up my peace to have her in my house. I'm sorry, but no. And then every time we want to travel, we got to figure out what we're going to do. What we're going to do with it's like a pet, right? Like what we're going to do. I hate to say my mom that way, but it's like having a child, right? Like if they are incapable of taking care of themselves, somebody's got to take care of them 24/7. That means I have to hire someone to stay in my house to go. No.
Because she doesn't want to believe that she needs any help.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to believe.
And even if she didn't need any help, there's a reason why my mom lived in California and I lived in Colorado. So when people say, don't you miss your family? No. I miss some of them, but they all moved away. And the ones I miss, I talk to via Zoom. I talk to via FaceTime.
Yeah, we let them into our Black Utopia. Our Black Utopia.
I'm just trying to say, it is nice to be here and not have to be dealing with the day-to-day of the drama in other people's lives based upon the choices that they made. Whoever we are today is a result of the choices that we made in the past, good and bad, right? And we've all made bad choices and we've made some good choices. Hopefully the good outweigh the bad. And hopefully the good choices are around the things that are going to sustain you. My mom did not make good choices, even though she had the information available for her to make good choices. She didn't make good choices about what she ate. She smoked. She did all of these things. She barely exercised. These were choices that she made. And so now she's living with the ramifications of those choices in dementia, right? Now, that doesn't mean that people like Jack LaLanne who ate well and stuff don't get dementia, but you are more prone to get it if you're eating crap all of the time. And she did not take good financial care of herself. So she's in this position she's in, and it is not my job to save her. May I ask what airlines you usually fly when traveling back to the US? I used all of our points, Greta. I used all of our points getting back to the United States because we're flying back mid-January. And so Denver is a United hub. So we use United most times. Sometimes we'll use TAP if they're running a special or something like that. And TAP Airlines, some of our points transfers to there. I can't remember which ones. I can't remember what network they're in.
They're in the Star Alliance.
Okay, so those are the
United.
same with United, right? So we could transfer points to them, but yeah, we usually take United because Denver is a hub for United, and we have a lot of United points. Or we had a lot of United points. Now we have dust.
100.
Dust. Is it better to go to Portugal in the off season? Also in the summer, do the prices change, like go higher? Yeah. Well, Airbnb prices go up because there's more demand, right? And so what I would do, Alberto, is if you're planning to come in June, book now. Book your Airbnb now while people are still thinking about the holidays.
Get it at lower prices.
And you can get it at a lower price. It's not that people necessarily raise their prices, especially if it's a Portuguese person who is following the rules and has it registered the proper way. And the reason why they don't is because they don't want to pay more taxes. So yeah, I would book now. I made the mistake of not booking when we knew we were coming in June. The very first time, I made the mistake of booking in like March or April. And so we ended up going on the other side of the river because I didn't like what was left over in Lisbon proper. Yeah. So I would
book ASAP.
Yep, book now. Right? €238 for 11 adults, dinner, 4 bottles of wine, 2 bottles of champagne, plus desserts. Okay, we just answered that. I know you live in Lisbon, but what do you think about Faro?
Never been to Faro.
And living by the beach. Yeah, so those who who participated in the Move to Portugal Summit, we did have someone on there from not the Silver Coast, but from the Algarve, and then Alex and Jerry also have a place down in the Algarve. It's just so we have not been there. So we'll preface it by saying this. But one of the main reasons why we did not go prior to moving is because it's not a city. It's a beach town. And I don't want to live in a beach town. So that's the thing. If you think small town living by the beach is for you, then consider the Algarve. And there are places in parts of the Algarve that are a lot less expensive than living here in Lisbon. Truly, truly, truly. There are a lot more British expats down in the Algarve.
Yeah. Speak a lot of English in Algarve because they're catered to.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely want to visit because the beaches are beautiful. And so we'll probably do that this spring. But I'm a city girl. And so that's why it wasn't even a consideration. It wasn't even a consideration. Plus, like we went to dinner with 11 folks last night. Now, those were, I have to say, immigrants, all English speaking of Black folks. And so that kind of speaks to the little bit of a bubble that we are in, but still, like, I want to be around my people to talk about our stuff. We're talking about the upcoming election. We're talking about, does everybody have their voting stuff straight and all of that? They're just things that, being around people where you've got that shared experience, makes it feel more like home as well. Even though I love the Portuguese people, there's still that language barrier for the most part. Not as much with the younger people, though.
No.
Did you use
Verhalo?
app and purchase an eSIM card since you've been in Portugal? No, I don't even know what Airo. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to even try.
No, we never use that app.
No. We use Vodafone.
Vodafone, yeah.
So
Vodafone.
yeah, we did a video on cell phone usage abroad, and then we specifically talk about the major companies here in Portugal for phone service. It's really not that expensive, but I've never heard of that one. We went with a smaller company when we came on our scouting trip, and I have to say, the reception was not great.
Who was that? I can't remember who was offhand.
I can't either. It wasn't one of the big three, though.
No.
And so when we came back, we decided to go with one of the big three. First, we were with Nosh, and now we're with Vodafone. And, and reception has been great nearly every single place that we've been to. And you can get a pay-as-you-go eSIM card from Vodafone for $20, So yeah, and some of those places, I would just go with the major ones because we didn't, and we paid the price. So no, they don't have sweet potato pies here. No, they don't, but they have tons and tons and tons of sweet potatoes. So but it's hard to find brown sugar. And when I was I forgot to look when I went to Corte Inglés to look for brown sugar. What you looking up?
Trying to remember that card.
Oh.
Started with a V.
So he's looking for it. Yeah.
It'd drive me crazy if I don't find it.
You ain't gonna find it that way. But anyway, so it's hard to find brown sugar here. You can find sugar that is brown, but that's raw sugar. It's not like sugar and molasses that we have in the United States. So that's the only problem. But all of the other ingredients are here and readily available.
Lycra.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was Lycra. Yep.
It was driving me crazy.
Look, are there still openings for the meetup in June? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. There are still openings for the meetup in June. The boat is going to sell out first. And so right now we're selling them at 2023 prices for the boat excursion and the party. Next year, after we get the final prices, the price will go up and we'll start selling them separately as well as together for both of them. So if you don't like boats and you want to wait, you can wait. But we will at that point know the exact price for the party. And so we'll have to make sure we've got costs covered. Right now, we're just basing it on last year's prices. And even though the place that we had the party is no longer open. What?
Karen Louise.
Oh, yeah. You two represent couple goals, but after 2 years of a big life move, how has your relationship been impacted by the move? Has it strengthened or presented unexpected challenges?
Why you look at me?
I want you to answer first.
I think it's got stronger. I truly think it got stronger.
You see how he's feeling a little insecure right now?
I ain't feeling insecure.
He's feeling a little insecure. Not having daily stress, if you had something going on before, then it's going to strengthen your relationship. If y'all were already at odds and it had nothing to do with outside stressors, than it, spending nearly every day together, every hour, plus working together, doing YouTube and stuff like that. That will challenge a relationship that was not built on a strong foundation. This is not our first go round. It's not our first marriage. So we already understood, one, not to sweat the small stuff, not to let little bitty things become something major when in the big scheme of things, it's just a control issue, right? So we learned early on to really appreciate what we had because we've had the other crazy nonsense that we thought was the real deal, and it was some crazy nonsense.
Yeah.
So that helps us appreciate each other more as well.
I like being around her. I like doing things with her. And when I need to do things by myself, I just go to do things by myself.
He misses me. He misses me when I'm not around.
I do. I truly do. I do. But but like I said, when I need to go and do things, if I need to go hang out with the guys, we have a men's group for that. We can hang out. If I just need to go fly the drone, just to practice with it or get footage, I can do that. I know how to get back home.
I love you too, sweetheart.
Thank you, baby.
All right. So yeah, there were no unexpected challenges. No. As a matter of fact, I would even say that, like you insisting on coming to LA with me.
Yeah.
It's my problem. He said, no, it's our problem. Come on, y'all. I have a good husband, don't I? Yes, I do.
It is. I love your mom, just as much as you do.
I love her. I do love her. The mystery mean the Jack in the Box tacos. What is it? Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Mystery meat. It just was flat.
Well, and the thing about it was the grease would pull down at the bottom of it. And so the bottom was always kind of soggy.
We're going to leave the mystery meat a mystery.
That was good stuff, y'all. That was good stuff. I'm sorry.
I think there has a cardboard in there mixed in there.
Oh, Adelia said something interesting. Also, the folks in Mexico who would hire a house sitter have staff to do that kind of thing, right? So then there's that piece too. There's that piece too. Because all of the places we always look when we're coming back to that side of the world, I always look to see if there are house sits in Mexico.
In Mexico, yeah.
Maybe we can spend a little bit more time over there. And it's rare. I mean, they have them, but they're in the places where I know, and the thing is in English. And when I look at the person, they look, North American. Well, of course, Mexico's in North America too, but either Canadian or from the United States. Rebel Jade's Fire. Love my time in Lisbon and Porto. On my next trip in April, I'm going to Aveiro and Coimbra. I'm surprised you didn't see Aveiro when you were in Porto. And Coimbra is beautiful. In the recent changes in the NHR program causing you guys to reconsider your future residency in Portugal? No. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things, like, we're here, so it doesn't affect us because we're already non-habitual resident tax residents. So that does not directly affect us. Now, could a decrease in investment change the face of Portugal? Yes, it could. Mm-hmm. Yes, it could. And so if it becomes less safe because people feel more desperate, see, these are the things that politicians, doesn't seem like they put two and two together. They just want a quick fix, quick answer. And people are complaining, so let's fix it. And there are very few socio problems that can be fixed with one law. Right. Because people are complex, right? American politicians try to do it, and apparently politicians from all around the world try to do it. And so this was the former PM who had stepped down, his answer to the housing crisis. I think it's going to make it worse. I think less investment makes it worse. And so we'll see. It's always a lack of inventory.
A lot of investors have already freaked out. And
Yeah.
Spain stepped up and said, just come to Spain.
Yeah. So, but yeah, unless we see a major change in the safety and things like that, we're going to be here for at least 5 years. Are you all still in the investors group? So if you're asking if we're still part of Better Investing, yes, we are. So for those of you who do not know, Better Investing is a nonprofit organization that teaches folks how to evaluate equities, specifically single company as opposed to index funds / mutual funds. The only time I experienced the opposite of treating me in a superior way. Okay. Split my watermelon. Wait, what are you talking about? Alicia, your face when you said that. Oh my God, I'm holding my chest. I don't know. I don't know what I said. That's how far behind we are. Do you have surveillance video in your mom's house and first alert for her? No. I was on my way to getting that. And then it got to the point where I just said, you know what? We're moving her. We're moving her to assisted living. We should have actually put up surveillance back in when we first moved here in June 2022. That's what we should have done. Put up cameras. It didn't occur to me until her pastor suggested it. But by that time, she has already gotten to the point where she shouldn't have been living alone then. But now it's like desperate. Like she keeps giving away her information. So I had to move her money to an account that she has no access to, does not know the number or anything. Anytime somebody's called, I mean, her cable company has called her every day to tell her her bill is not paid. And I have to tell her every day, Mom, it's on auto pay. It's been paid. Your balance is zero. I can't deal with no TV. I got to have my cable.
Got to see Steve Harvey.
Exactly. I got to see Wheel of Fortune for the 1,000th time, that same episode as an African American veteran. I understand the peace of mind you mentioned by being outside of the U.S. It's truly priceless, right? Do you think 30 days is enough time for a scouting trip? I think it depends on the person.
Yeah, I do. I do. Depends on what you're doing, where you're going.
And what you need to know to make a decision. So, for instance, if we were moving here and we were moving $5,000 worth of stuff, like if we had to pay $5,000 just to ship crap from the United States to here that we feel like we cannot live without, I would probably want it to be a little bit more certain that our situation, that our decision was the correct decision, because it's a big investment.
Right.
So, you know what you need to know to make that decision. 30 days was more than enough time for us. Especially for me. He's a Libra. You know, Libra's got a pro and con it, 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 pro and con it.
Okay.
Pro and con it. It's like, make a decision. So, you know, make sure you have your list of wants and needs, right? So that you can make and keep it with you. Keep it with you while you are where you're going to, and make sure that enough stuff is checked for you.
Check it off, yeah.
For you to be happy, you know. We made a decision the first week we were here. We're like, can you do this? Oh, yeah, I can do this. Could you do this? Yeah, I can do this. We were sold the first week, just because even though we were in a working class neighborhood where that wasn't charming, it was not charming whatsoever,
No.
where everyone spoke Portuguese, there was no English spoken.
Yep.
But the local little fruitaria, once, like day 2, I walked in, boa tarde. Oh my gosh. Her face lit up. And so I'm trying to speak a little bit of Spanish, the 2, 3 words I know in Portuguese. And I mean, she was so sweet. Our first day here, and for those of you who are new, you might not know this. For those of you who've been with us for a while, you've heard the story before. But we land, we get here. The people who own the Airbnb were waiting for us, gave us hugs, helped us carry our luggage up, all of that stuff. We were on the first floor, so it was just a few steps up the thing, but still, right? And the next morning, we go out to the cafe.
To get coffee and breakfast.
Yeah, coffee,
Coffee and a croissant.
pastries.
Pastry.
Oh my God. And her card machine was down. So we didn't have any cash yet. We hadn't gotten cash. We hadn't gone to an ATM machine. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I said, where's the ATM machine? I can go. And this lady did actually speak enough English for us to communicate. I'll go find some money. She's like, no. Relax. Sit down,
breakfast.
Have your coffee, have your pastry, have your breakfast, and then you can go get the money. Welcome to Portugal, y'all. That's Portugal. That's why we're here. And that's why this is our happy place. And it was easy to make that decision in the first week. I spoke to my mom about moving to Portugal with me. She was her usual negative self. Oh, Pinky, I'm sorry. And said, don't nobody want to be there.
Yeah, a lot of people want to be here.
Where is she? Where does she live, Pinky? Where does she live that she thinks everybody wants to be at? Then I thanked her for reminding me of why I moved away from home.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look, I don't know who's watching, but I'm gonna just go ahead and tell. When I moved from Los Angeles to Colorado, I met Rick in Colorado, even though he was from Southern California as well. But we met through a mutual friend. And when I was thinking about like, why am I still living here? Maybe I should go back to LA. I worked in the entertainment industry. Maybe I need to go back. My dad said, no, you don't need to be close to your mom. Sometimes it's like that. What made you realize you are not a beach town person? Traveling.
Yeah, traveling. I mean, the time we spent in Puerto Vallarta or different places we've been throughout the world, beaches. I'm not really a sand person. I love beaches, but I don't like the sand. It drives me nuts.
Why are you looking at me like I'm gonna say something different? Because I know that about you.
Usually you chime in and say, yeah, he hates sand. But yeah, I mean, I'm just not. I mean, there's plenty of beaches around if I want to go, and I'm just not that person who walks through the beach getting sand between your toes and in your shoes and in your clothes and in your. It just gets anywhere and everywhere.
I see. I don't mind that. As you know, growing up in San Diego and LA, every day was spent at the beach or in the pool. So I don't mind that. It's that like Barcelona was going to be a good compromise because it's beach, but it's city too. But I think it was when we were in Madrid and it was like here, it was like being down in Bica or wherever, or Baixa Chiado here, where you've got huge crowds of people, just wall to wall people, and it's friendly and there's no attitudes. And then these people over here are dancing, and then this person over here, there's like a street performer.
They're just doing their thing.
And and people are just happy and walking around and the energy, and I just loved it. And it's like, yes, this is what I want to experience on a regular basis. I like this. And so when we go to the El Centro or the old part of Lisbon where the tourist area is, it's like that. I love walking around the streets day or night and seeing the street performers and window shopping and getting energy from people and watching folks enjoy themselves at the different little street festivals or whatever's going on. And I just love the energy. So it took traveling for me to figure that out, especially being San Diego and LA girl. So yeah. Oh, thank you. Mary, be free. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Valerina, you guys seem more comfortable with each other, and Rick is much more comfortable on camera.
Well, haven't I always been comfortable?
He didn't want to do this, y'all, and y'all knew it. Y'all knew it when we first started this thing. Like when I look at some of those early videos, those cringe-worthy videos, y'all stuck it out with us. We love you guys. Y'all stuck it out. Based on only seeing you on YouTube, I think you are much stronger as a couple. My humble opinion only. Thank you, Valerina. Yeah, I mean, it really, when if you've got a strong foundation and outside forces have creeped in on your relationship, having peace of mind, getting your finances straight, because most couples argue about money, right? Being on the same page with your money and things like that, it makes a big difference. So thank you, Karen Louise. Thank you
Karen
for
Louise.
asking that question. And you two are so lucky to have that type of love and support and affection between you two.
I'm her biggest fan. I truly am. Always been.
Yeah, he has been. And that's why I love him. And that's why I love him. Thank you. Thank you, Word Up Psychotherapy. I will reach out regarding Gloria Benson. Let's see. I've been looking for an apartment rental and looking all over Portugal. I've noticed prices started to slowly come down on rentals that have been available for 2 and 3 months, waiting for a renter, right? Exactly. Some of these people have lost their minds. Some of these people are on drugs or something. They smoking something. Because when you think about the average Portuguese person makes 1,500 euro per month, and you're asking 2,000 euro per month for the apartment, like who's going to rent that?
Who's going to rent it? Right.
Who's going to?
And that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. The average Portuguese person, it hasn't changed.
Yeah. So I see you, psychotherapy. What your experience is. So I don't see it in the newsletter. So Angel, I sent it out as a separate email. If you didn't get it, it's probably because you're not, I don't think I sent it to everybody. I think I sent it to people who kind of intimated that they would be interested. So I will send it out to the whole list tonight after this live, because we've been talking for an hour and a half. I can't believe that. I'll send it out after this live to the whole list again, or everybody that I didn't send it to last time. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So
Kami is asking, how do Leos make decisions?
You're a Libra. We make them quick with half the information and just hope stuff's gonna be right.
Well, we have to put thought into it. You have to consider all your options.
I do quickly do a pros and cons, and then I trust that my decision is correct, and that if it's not, that I can figure out how to untangle.
But you got to make sure your decision is the right decision.
He goes through this when we talk about where we gonna eat.
No, I'm not that bad.
Oh no.
Because you're picky.
And yeah, but you know what I like and what I don't like. And like when I say, what are we doing tomorrow? I don't know.
Well, whatever you want.
In other words, see, and the thing is, okay, so here's the thing. It got me. When I used to make all of the decisions, I felt responsible for everyone enjoying my decision. See, when you make all the decisions about what you're going to do, where you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, and all this stuff, you feel responsible that everyone is having fun, and you can't even enjoy yourself because you're so worried about, was my decision a good decision for everyone, when folks don't want to be chiming in saying whatever. I don't take that responsibility anymore. No, I do not. If you don't have an opinion about what we're doing and I make a decision,
Never complained.
He hasn't ever complained. It was a me thing, thinking that I had to be responsible, whether it's a vacation, does he like what we're doing? And I would never know because he doesn't say anything until I hear him talking on the phone to somebody else. And it's like, oh, he actually did enjoy it. I don't know.
I do enjoy it, and I have enjoyed it. I've never had a problem with it. And I figured if there's something that I do want to do, I'll say something. I'll say, this is what I want to do. I really want to do this.
So I don't know. Like every Libra that I know goes through this pro and con thing, and I think really. Oh, I messaged you, Greta. I think that writing it down, writing down the pros, writing down the cons, looking at it, and saying, okay, based upon this, do it, and knowing that you can figure out that you have the intelligence to figure out how to pivot if the decision is not 100% on point. I believe that when I'm able to do my scouting trip to Lisbon, I will decide to make it home in a day.
Make it her home.
Oh, making it home. Yeah. Well, you've been here, Greta, haven't you? Haven't you been here? Or was it Porto that you went to? Okay, that's Leo's. But yeah. Germaphobes.
Okay.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Yeah. So I think that all irrational fears should be conquered. And you do the thing and feel uncomfortable anyway. If it's not going to cause you too much mental stress,
Right.
do the thing anyway and see how you don't get sick. Because truth be told, most of the germaphobes that I know, um, they still do things that it's like, okay, but you just touched that knob. And now you putting some alcohol on your stuff, but your hands are still dirty. And so maybe there's no germ, but it's still dirty. You know, I so I used to live with a germaphobe, and it was crazy some of the stuff that we go through. Now, he was extreme. He was definitely extreme. Unlike my mom, who's just a mild germaphobe. I mean, she wipes down the newspaper before she brings it in the house. But yeah, I would ask myself, what am I really afraid of? What are you, and then where does that come from? What happened to me in the past to make me believe that I am more vulnerable to these things than anybody else? Or is it, and then some people say, y'all just stupid, right? But what is it? What is that thing? Because usually it's about control. Like Rick and his flying, it's about control. And when you think that you're supposed to have control over people, places, and things,
Yeah.
and there's some part that's not out of control, then you start feeling extremely uncomfortable.
Right. It's a disruptor.
Right. And so why, like for me, when I had control issues, especially when I was younger and my parents moved a lot, what they were running from, I don't know. But like I changed schools so many times and I was just so over it, so tired. And when you feel that lack of control, you want to try to control other things in your life because outside forces are doing stuff that's out of your control. And so what has happened? I think spending some time thinking about that might help you get to the source of it. So when you start getting those thoughts, you can say that's just because X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna turn that off right now and know that God's got my back and I don't have to worry about this. Does that mean you go places and don't wash your hands? No, that's not what I'm talking about. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Products and services, huh? Products and services. I mean, you get the products and services here just like you do in the United States. I mean, there's not a Target nearby that you can run down to the corner to Target or something like that. That
Yeah,
has everything.
I think that's the biggest thing. So the thing that we have had to learn here, and may not be the case in places like Mexico where they do have Costco and they do have Walmart, is that I've had to go. I can never go to just one place to find everything that I need, even if it's only groceries that I need. I still usually have to frequent this grocery store for this. I don't like their version of almond milk. I can't stand the way it tastes, so I got to go over here to get the almond milk, go over here to get the espresso coffee, et cetera, et cetera. So, and and then none of these places are going to necessarily have all of the other things that we're used to even seeing in grocery stores, like tights, like stockings, tights, I know legs don't exist anymore, but you still can find some type of tights in most grocery stores in America, the big chain stores. Not here. There's just not enough room for all of that crap. So, and then there's no overnight Amazon.
No, no, not at all.
So, Kenneth, I have to find my barber. He left that barber shop, and so I've got to reach out to him on IG to see if he's still cutting hair. If not, there's a lot of black barbers. There's a lot of black barbers here because there's a lot of black folks here. So, are you still happy with the dental and healthcare system? We're happy with the quality. I'm a little pissed off at my insurance company right now, and they're asking for extra stuff. So I'll let you guys know how that turns out. But the quality, definitely. The pricing, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still learning it, the healthcare thing. So it's a process. You have to learn it. You still have a language barrier with a lot of things because everybody doesn't speak English. But there's enough people. But it's just that thing of being comfortable, which you do know and understand, and trying to get more of an understanding, and then you get more comfortable at it.
Yeah, yeah. There's always parts of the system that are different, and you don't know until you go through that part of it. But one thing that I can say is that the doctors that I have had the pleasure of having spend so much more time talking to me, explaining to me, figuring out what my health concerns are, health goals are, and then devising a plan to achieve that. And that's been my experience. And I mean, like, no less than 30 minutes of solid talking and explaining.
And
No less than.
they don't have urgent care here like they do in the States.
No, I guess you just go to the
You
emergency
have to go to
room.
the emergency room.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they don't have urgency cares on 2 and 3 on every corner like you do in the States.
yeah, yeah. So it's definitely a different vibe, but so far so good. I think you're saying mom is in Bakersfield, California. Couldn't even get her to move over here to the coast when I moved 36 years ago. I asked her if she even knew anything about Portugal, and she said no. Oh, she's in Bakersfield. She's in Bakersfield asking why in the hell would somebody want to move to Portugal?
Yeah.
In serio? Oh my gosh. Like, okay, for those who are not Californian, Bakersfield is like the booty of California, okay? Nobody wants to live in damn Bakersfield. It's inland, it's smoggy, it's like trailer trashy. Mama, leave the zip code. Leave the zip code because Bakersfield I'm sure it's no better than it was 20 years ago. I'm sure it's not. Do you recommend having 2 residency visas? I'm working on getting a second one. Yes, why not?
Yeah.
I have Puerto Rico and Mexico.
Well, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So
Yeah, so that's not what she's saying. We're at PR in Mexico. I'm not sure where PR is. Lisbon is still on my list, but have to know how taxes will affect my Social Security pension. Yeah.
PR in Mexico.
I would, Frederica, make an appointment with Sandra Gomes Pinto and see what she has to say about the tax thing. And her information is on the Move to Portugal Virtual Summit under speakers. But I'm not sure where PR is, babe. But yeah, we have Mexico and we have Portugal, as you know. Permanent residency in Mexico and temporary residency here. I'm with Rick. Going on a wing and a prayer ain't gonna work. All right, y'all. It is Christmas Eve. This is our second Christmas in Portugal, and I'm still pinching myself. But some things don't feel unfamiliar anymore, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when we were walking around getting the footage for the holiday video, all of the decorations are different. The bulb is still the bulb, but last year it was yellow. This year it's blue. But
The Christmas tree changed.
the Christmas tree is much
Commercial.
different. It's different color, different type of Christmas tree, and the decorations on Avenida Libertad are totally different.
They're totally different.
Yeah. Last year it looked like freezing rain dripping down. It was really, really pretty. This year it was more like angels or something. I don't know. And that was pretty as well, but totally different. And so it's always really cool to see what they're going to do. The decorations in our Freguesia are totally different. Last year they had angels. This year they have a bulb and some other things. So, and they do like the street up here. It's on the side of the buildings. It's just pretty. It really is. No one does Christmas like Southern Europe does Christmas. Now, Northern Europe might do it, but I have not been there during that time.
Mm.
So they do have yellow grits here. They have yellow grits. They don't call them grits, but a friend of mine cooked them up and they taste just like grits. So they do. So we are, I still have some United States grits.
U.S. grits.
Yep.
U.S. grits.
Yep. So yeah, we have permanent residency in Mexico, and you can get permanent residency too. Oh, that's what you're saying. PR. Okay. PR in Mexico, permanent residency. Okay. So yeah, we've got permanent residency in Mexico. We got residency here for several reasons. One is choices, and two is because Adelia said, you should have choices, and I take direction well these days. And so,
especially when the advice is good.
Yeah, especially when the advice is good. Yeah, I don't take bad advice. But my notion is, instead of having to go back to the United States, we would love it if our family would just meet us in Mexico. And we love Mexico. So, and if Putin gets stupid, it's just nice to have choices. Hey, LaDon, we're glad that you caught Alive too. Just came across your channel a few days ago, and your insights on Portugal made me pause my visa to South Africa. Coming to Lisbon in January.
Awesome.
Yes.
Check it out.
Check it out. Yeah. There's a big difference between South Africa and Lisbon. There's a big difference. Well, one of the differences is you're not as far away from the United States. If you're from the United States, it's not as far away. I mean, it's a haul to get to South Africa. And so that's something you have to keep in mind if you need to get back to the States. Besides the fact that we don't have load shedding and we're not dealing with blackouts and things like that. I think the biggest thing is the opposite. The summer is the winter and the winter is the summer.
Right.
Obviously a lot more Black people. And that's another thing. That was another thing that was really hard about South Africa, is like, how did you guys allow these people to come in and take your home and move you to the outskirts? It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, the stories that we heard.
It's just heartbreaking.
When we were there.
Exactly. It's just heartbreaking. And then to deal with the coloreds versus the Blacks and all of that. And I don't know what it's like today. We will see when we get down there in February. But I gave them the lynch letter, y'all, back in 2008, 2009, whenever we were there. I gave them the lynch letter, and I'm like, look, because y'all all Black to me, but I know that you guys have cultural differences. Yeah. Don't let those cultural differences
keep you separated.
And stuck.
They do.
So I don't know what's happening today. They might be coming together more as they realize that they got the one country. Off topic, I bought my ticket in July to the July meetup. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what July meetup. I received my receipt from the processor. However, I didn't receive an email from you or Black to Go. Oh, I received formal confirmation. Oh, okay. So it's in June, Regina. It's in June. And I guess I should go ahead and email all those folks who bought tickets. But if you got a receipt from PayPal, you're on the list. Like, you're on the list. If you got the receipt, you're on the list. I can sort it by those folks who bought tickets, but I'll send you guys an email coming up so that you don't feel like just like, where'd my money go?
I guess Bakerfield hasn't changed.
See?
Wow.
See, so we had a family reunion in Bakersfield back in the 90s, and I was like,
Yeah, my cousin lived in Bakersfield for a while.
you know, look, born in LA, raised in LA, partially in San Diego. I don't think so. I don't think so. Between Bakersfield and then like Fresno, all those kind of places. No. Okay. We about to go off air, y'all. You guys don't have any more questions. I'm ready to drop everything and travel, move abroad. Thinking about Valencia, Spain. I'm very encouraged each time I listen to you two. Yay, trying to convince my husband that this is the way for us. Oh, Regina, I'm sorry you have night shift. So 01A Queen, AK Queen, welcome, because this seems like a new name. Is your husband watching us?
Yeah.
Tell him to watch us. And start with the short videos, the ones that we edit, because 2 hours, he might not feel that. He might not feel that. But have him watch us and let him see. We are going to do a men's panel. We're going to do a men's panel. I don't know. I'll probably still be on air, but we are going to have a men's panel because men need to see men doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're going to get that together again. It's just, and probably do it as a constant thing.
Maybe once a quarter or something like that.
Yeah. It's just getting everybody together because times, schedules, constraints, different things like that. But we'll figure it out.
And so I was just looking through our pictures because I'm going to put together a montage of all of the folks that we broke bread with, had coffee with, who came to visit for scouting trips or just on vacation or whatever. And I was looking at a family. They had their teenage kids with them. No. It wasn't that family. It was the people that we went out. First, we went to the taco spot, and then we went to the bar afterwards. And it was a husband and wife and a mom and son, right?
Yeah.
And then the husband and wife, we ended up walking all the way.
Hotel, yeah.
We walked all the way
to Saldana.
To Saldana from the river, y'all. So we be walking.
Yeah.
And the wife said she was so glad her husband got a chance to meet you because now he can see that there are real Black men who actually left the United States and are living in Europe. They're living their best lives. So it helps. It helps to see representation, right? So I said we're about to go, and so I see all of these cues come up. How y'all gonna act? So Regina, I'm so sorry that you are getting ready for night shift. I'm sorry. But hopefully you are like that far away from being able to tell them deuces. Right?
I hear you. I used to work that night shift, Regina. Oh my gosh. When I worked for Anheuser-Busch.
So, all right. Hello, everyone. Is your trash pickup regular and sewer plumbing issues? Portugal does look good as far as their streets. So, okay. Trash pickup. We live in the city proper of Lisbon, where 99.9% of the housing are apartment buildings. That means there's a lot of folks in a small amount of space. They have public trash bins that are underground, and the receptacle to put it in is above ground, right? And then the actual big bin is down underground. When it's trash day, which is, well, it rotates. Every day is trash day because this day they're picking up the bottles. This day they're picking up the plastic and metals. This day they're picking up the paper. This day they're picking up the regular stuff. And so, but on trash day, there's two things that happen. One, they overflow. And so then it's all around the edge of the trash can.
Yeah.
And then two, that's the time when people bring stuff out to sit stuff in front of the trash can that they're giving away. So an old chair or this or that they think somebody might
might be able to use. It might be clothing. It might be shoes.
Yeah, they'll set them out, and it looks like it's just overflow trash, but actually they're setting it out for people who could use it.
It could be lamps. It could be
and
furniture,
so that's a tradition, and that's something that that could be a culture shock, especially if you come from a very pristine suburb. That can be culture shocking. That has not followed up with me seeing rats in the street in the middle of the night. And we've walked at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning when the streets get quiet, and I still have not seen a rodent. I just saw my first roach in the subway system like 2 months ago.
Yeah, the subway systems are usually always clean.
It's clean, but there was a roach. It came out of the sewers. So if you live in a very, very old building, 1700s, 1800s, like in Alfama or Grasso, or part of Campo de Oric even, you might have plumbing issues. We know someone who got an apartment sight unseen from some Americans that said, oh, they were going to move and do you want to take over their lease, knowing that that place had sewer problems. It's so unfair. Anyway, so they move in and there's actually sewage coming up through the drains and stuff like that. And so they stayed there one night and that was it. Our apartment, we've never had that issue. The smell that some people have because
they don't have, in the United States, they have what they call an S.
Yeah.
Under your sink. If you look under your sink, your pipe is going in an S. The S.
And the toilet too.
Yeah, and the toilets. And that pipe itself stops the smell from coming back up.
Right. Here.
So that's why you don't smell it in the States, but here it's different.
It's like an L.
Right.
And the same like in Mexico.
It's more direct.
And different places like that.
Right.
But even with that, now we're not on the first floor. I don't know if that makes a difference. I have no idea. We're way up on the fourth floor. So we don't have any plumbing issues. We don't, when we left our house for a couple of weeks to do the house sit, when we came back, we didn't smell anything. Mm-hmm. And the house was closed up. So that can be an issue, but both the trash pickup and the sewer plumbing issue could be an issue, but it just depends. Every freguesia is not created equal. So you need to do your Googles. Yeah. If Lisbon is the place, do your Googles, figure out what freguesia it's in. Every freguesia has their own website. It's usually Junta, Junta, de, and then the freguesia name, Chao Vicente, Pinheira França, Graça, whatever the freguesia's name is. And see what they're talking about on their website, because and if stuff hasn't been updated in a long time, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not being taken care of, but to me, that's the first red flag. So our freguesia, they're on point. The president of the freguesia, she's always out in the streets trying to do community things, making sure the streets are clean, the trash is picked up, and all of that stuff. So yeah. Like I put your mama on the phone. Put your mama on the phone. Is there an approximate end time for the vision board party? We're going to keep it to an hour, hour and a half tops. I mean, I want enough time for you guys to figure out Canva. So if you want to come to the vision board party, make sure that you already register with Canva, that you have an account. You can get a free account. And so do that. You can also start looking at pictures and things like that online that you might want to use. Now, remember, for your own personal vision board, you can use any picture that Google pulls up, because you're not trying to make money off it. It's just for your personal use. So it doesn't really matter whether it's stock photo or not, whether it's from a newspaper or not. You can download it and use it on your personal vision board without worrying about you running into any copyright issues, because it's just for your personal use. So you can start looking for images and things like that right now. And then we'll talk about visioning and how you turn that vision into a pictorial representation, and then how to use Canva as well. Did y'all catch the name of the gangster cockroach? Look, and the thing about it is I did one of these things.
I called him Rudy.
And the ladies next to me, because he ran out like about 2 feet from the grate, and then ran back in. I don't know. I was doing something, and then ran back in, and I was doing this, and they looked, and they're like, "Ugh." And they just kept talking and playing their Candy Crush or whatever. And I'm like, no.
Rudy Giuliani.
So we do use Canva to edit our YouTube videos, especially shorts, because they already have it pre-formatted for shorts. Yeah. Whereas iMovie is going to put some black on the side. And so we usually have to bring it into Canva. Plus, professional Canva comes with music and video, stock footage and all of that stuff. Yeah. So, and it's idiot proof. So Rudy, when you get a minute. All right, y'all. Merry Christmas. Boas festas. Yeah. We wanted to spend time with you. We wanted to start off with letting you know that living abroad is not a panacea. It's not a panacea. But for us, we were able to build our own Black Utopia for several reasons. One, because we knew exactly what we wanted. And we understood what the deficits of Lisbon are, the deficits of Portugal, and in our list of wants and needs, they just were not as important as the good parts that we found here, right? Yeah. But it's not going to solve all your problems. No. It's not going to solve all your problems, right? Moving abroad is not going to solve all of your problems. So, but it can bring peace of mind. You can use a move abroad or bopping around to lower your cost of living, to help you reach your FI number faster and or retire faster and or pay off that debt faster, right? And so these are some of the things that you should take advantage of as Americans. As long as that blue passport has some privilege, use it. Use it. Let this Christmas launch you. If you need help getting your money straight, y'all know what we're going to say. You got to join Beyond the Bling. Get beyond the bling. Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence. From the rooter to the tutor, you will come out with a plan to get you there ASAP, even if you don't have a dime saved, even if you have a negative net worth the way we did. And everything that we learned to get us from negative 22,000 to 1.1 million, we are going to talk about in Beyond the Bling. If you're not part of the Facebook group, Buyer Over 50, join it. Find your community. We just heard from Igami, I think it was, whose mom was like, why in the heck you'd want to move there? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? And Bakersfield? Come on. So come
and see for yourself.
So join a community, between Exodus Summit, if you're a Black woman, Our Black Utopia, Fire Over 50, and there's so many, Black in Portugal, there's so many more where you can find community to support your dreams. And Fire Over 50 is really about getting that money together, but also moving abroad as well, and not necessarily to Portugal. If you need help getting your money straight and money is a problem, the Ready to Retire Toolkit is free. It's in the description below, and you'll want to start there. We also have a Move Abroad Toolkit. If you already know that you want to go, you need help putting that plan together, we have a Move Abroad Toolkit. It's about 10, 12 pages of workbook. We send you emails to help you work through all of it. And that is down there below. Otherwise, we're going to let y'all go.
Feliz Natal.
Feliz Natal. Boas festas. See ya. Love y'all.
Love ya. Be safe.
Yes.